What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to be checking out Lost, the game from Cardinal. This is for 2 to 8 players, but you can play with more players if you choose. It'll take you about 30 minutes to 3 to 4 hours to play, and it's for ages, I don't know, I'd say 10, 11, and up. And in Lost the Game, you are going to be exploring the island of Lost by trying to move your way around the board, get fate cards, do fateful things, deal with events, and eventually try to either complete your victory condition or kill or trap your opponents. Sound intriguing? You know you want to see this. Let's open it up and see how it works. Alright, so we're going to be taking a look at Lost the game. So, first and foremost, we got a handy-dandy rule sheet, but they loved rule sheets so much they decided not to put one rule sheet in, but to actually put 2 rule sheets in, and then a handy-dandy cheat sheet. And as you can see, grand total, it is about, 5-6 pages, double-sided, no color, no illustrations, just absolute pure blocks of text. I believe in one of them they actually put this little thing that looks like it was created in MS Paint on there. So that's really nice. They also wanted to be very, very adamant about a lot of things. There's a lot of italics, a lot of bold things, a lot of exclamation points that will tell you, do not do this! They were very, very adamant that you play the game the right way. But not really, because there's some interesting things in here. Such as, in the beginner's rules, if you don't understand a particular rule, then just say screw it and make something up that everybody agrees with. Yeah, just do that. So, let's go ahead and show you how the gameplay works, go over all the different components. So first and foremost, what are you going to be doing in Lost? Well, you're going to be taking control of one character. And if you're playing the advanced version, you're going to be taking control of 2 character cards. And you're going to be taking control of that character, so we have Jack. And each character is going to have a special ability that they can utilize. So Jack is able to heal because, well, he is a doctor. That makes a little bit of sense. And then each character is also going to have a win condition. Now, you are going to be accumulating a bunch of different characters potentially throughout the game. You're going to be recruiting them to your side, so to speak. But the only way you can win with a win condition is if it's your starting character, one of your 1 or 2 starting characters. So you'll put those in front of you, and then you'll grab one of these handy-dandy little doodad things right here, which are pretty user-friendly, even though they didn't just, really show. And then you're going to take whatever piece you need, and this really flimsy piece of cardboard-ish paper. I feel like it's just really thick printer paper, and it has a little crease right there for no reason, because the crease actually doesn't help you anyway. And then you're just going to kind of shove it in there. And no, I'm not joking. This is real. This is real, and that's your player piece. You're going to be shoving this into there, and that's your player piece, but you do need to beware, because sometimes what's going to happen is it'll pop out, and then you'll be like, stupid thing, it'll try to... And so luckily, the rule booklet says you can also just play with this piece of paper if you'd like. Yes, I'm not making this up. The rule booklet actually says that if you can't cram this in there, or if it's not staying, you can just play with that piece of paper. So, let's see, we have Jack already done, and then he's going to have a starting location. Each player is going to have a starting location on the board. So you're going to create a 4x4 grid, which is going to be comprised of spots that will have shorelines, and then also some that have inner islands. Now, that is in a 2-player game. If you play with more players, 2 and 3 is going to be 4x4. I believe all the way up to an 8x8 grid if you're willing to be adventurous enough to play a 7-player game. Do be forewarned, that will be a 3-hour game, as they say in the rule booklet, and I would imagine it would probably take closer to 4 hours. Let's go over some more of the components. You got your character down there, you got your little thing, you've got your starting location down there, and each player is going to have a different, unique starting location. So we can set aside the character cards. The other thing you're going to get, the next thing, is you're going to get this little heads and tails thing, and it's got the Pharma logo on there and the Lost on the back, and this is actually going to be for flipping. I'm not joking, you're actually going to be using this to flip a coin for various different fate cards and events that will come up, because everyone loves the coin flipping mechanic. Next, you're going to have these little injured things, because every once in a while, obviously, you're wandering around on an island, you are going to get injured, and if you do that, you're just going to put that on your thing to symbolize that your guy has 0 power for that turn. Next, you're going to have dice, because you are going to be rolling dice quite a bit in this game, but not to move. This is not a roll and move game. silly you. It's actually for this power check cheat sheet, because you're going to be having to do power checks. So it's nice that they included this cheat sheet, which looks like it was printed off of boardgamegeek.com. I did not print this off. This is straight from the manufacturer on this nice, sturdy paper. Yeah. Okay, so anywho, moving onward, you're going to take all the rest of the tiles, which you will not be using, and set them over to the side. And there are tons and tons and tons of these extra tiles. There's also fate cards over here, because you're going to be drawing lots of different fate cards that will do various different things. There is, I believe, 178 of these fate cards. That's a lot of these cards. I mean, it's nice that there's variety. Now, one thing I do want to mention here is, as you've noticed, there is real artwork on everything. On these, on the picture pieces, on the tiles, and they made the decision to go with the hand-drawn artwork for all of the fate cards. I thought it was a little bit of an odd decision, but needless to say, they did the various different things. So, what do fate cards do? There's a couple different things they're going to do. They might have an encounter, which you're going to have to face, and we'll get to this encounter in a second. You might have events that happen, and these might happen, and you can play them from your hand. So, for instance, if you come face to face with the monster, which could potentially come out if you draw one of these cards, or if it comes up with one of these, then you can play this card and you can ignore the monster. You might also have various different items, like for instance this one, hit from behind, and this is going to play this from your hand. A character of your choice in an adjacent location is going to miss their next turn. Yes, because this game uses the skipping a turn thing. So potentially you can have a couple cards that you can play and say, ha ha, I'm going to continue to do this, and you're going to continue to lose turns. Because everyone loves losing turns, especially in an 8-player game where you then have to wait for 7 other people to go ahead and take their turn. So we mentioned the dice, we mentioned the little things, the components. Let's show you how the gameplay is going to work. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to move one and only one space with each of your characters. So, and when you do that, you'll go there. So we go to the shoreline and we'll flip it over and see what happens. So we have a beach. We're going to draw a fate card. Hooray! Equipment left here may not be taken by other players, so if you leave equipment here, then no one else can take it. Now, this is also a campsite, because you're going to be able to get some other character players on the board. So I should tell you the win conditions in this game. How you're going to win this game is either A, you've recruited all the different characters on the board, and I'll show you right now. Since we have a campsite, that means that Claire would be there as well, and I think she's already out. So you potentially have the chance to overpower her and make her join your team by having a die roll off with the dice. So the ways to win the game, let's get back on track, is that you have all the followers, which would be all these people on the island, and then you either kill or trap your opponent, because I know there's a lot of that going on in the TV show. Hey, Jack, we have a disagreement. Guess what, Claire? I'm going to kill you. I win the game. Haha. So you can do that. Either that, or you can finish your starting character win condition, or last but not least, what you can do is you can just agree to end the game, and you both win, or a set group of people win. I'm not making this up. I swear I'm not making this up. That is the third victory condition, that everyone agrees to quit and say that everyone wins. Not making that up. That's in the rule booklet. Remember? This thing? Right there? Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Okay, well, moving onward. So, we've come to the campsite, and Claire is there. So what's going to happen is, you're going to have an awesome roll-off. But let's take a look at what fate card we drew first. And you can only have 4 fate cards in your hand. So, we have this event. And my autofocus, not going to work there. Play this from your hand. Ignore any result that kills a character. Okay, so, yo, you killed me? Game over? Not so fast. I play this card, and I'm not dead. Okay. Yeah, okay. I had not seen that card. That's a great card. So someone might think that the game is over. You've played for 30 minutes. You're satisfied with the game. You just got killed, and you say, haha, actually, I'm not dead. You did not hit me over the head with a stick and stab me or trap me or do something like that. So anywho, let's get into the important part, which is that you can try and get Claire. So how this works is you're going to look at your power, boom, and you're going to look at her power, boom, and you are going to roll a die for both of those powers. So this one's for Claire, this one's for Jack. So Claire ends up with a 5 power, Jack ends up with a 6 power, and now Claire is under my control, which means next turn I'll be able to move her and Jack one space. Now, if I decide to move them together, that means if I come into an encounter, I'm going to be able to get both of their attack powers. So instead of doing 4 attack power, I'm doing a massive, 5 attack power. But anyway, and you will come into certain events that can be very, very powerful. I just want to give you one particular example of an event that I ran into actually on my first time playing this game, just so you can get a feel for what this game is about. And where did it go? Oh, so watch your step. Okay, an encounter. Play this at the location. It has a power of 16. The highest that you can start with your character, I do believe, is 5. So you cannot beat this when you first start the game if you have either A, you don't have 10 special ability power, or B, you're playing the beginner's game, which only gives you 1 character, because your max can be 5. So if you lose a character alone at this location, the location is trapped until another character arrives. Okay. Well, wait, if I only have 1 character, no one's going to arrive. After 3 rounds, if no one has arrived, kill that character. Wait, what? What? Yes, that is right. Me and my wife played this for the very, very first time, just so we could learn the rules before we played on game night. And this happened on my second turn. I died on my second turn. Well, actually, technically, I died on my 5th turn, but I was dead after 5 rounds, 3 of which I did not get to play. So, now, not all the event cards are obviously that incredibly drastic. At least I sincerely hope not. But other things you might get Luck, which will do various different things. You might get some equipment they can wear, like glasses that will look at other people's cards, do various other different things. But that, in a nutshell, is how to play the game. You're going to continue to play until you've either A, achieved your win condition, B, got everyone on the island on your team and then killed or trapped the other person, or C, just agreed to quit the game and go watch the TV show on Netflix. Oh, great dokery. Lost the game from Cardinal. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the pro side. Okay, not all the components are that bad. I mean, the tiles, there's a lot of tiles. They're thick and chunky. They're not going to bend or break. There's tons and tons and tons of fate cards. You're never going to play with all the fate cards in one game. They have real artwork from the show. They have real pictures from the show, which in theory should immerse you more into the game. The box insert is perfectly serviceable. I personally like having the tin. It's got the raised front on it. It's like you look at it and you're like, yeah! And when you get this game, if you're a Lost fan like I am, you're like, yes! Looks like it's going to be dripping with theme. It's going to be immersive and great. We're going to be moving around the board and dealing with stuff from the show, and yes! And also, it's got this cool little flip token thing that looks like it was just a great Kickstarter stretch goal, even though this wasn't a Kickstarter game. Okay, that's all I got. Nothing more. Wow. I went into this game thinking that it might be bad. I was like, alright there. This might be bad, but we're going to play it so I can review it, and if it's bad, we can get rid of it. We were not prepared for what we saw. So it starts off with the rule booklet. Let's just go down the checklist, which is in my brain because I don't plan these things out. The rule booklet is god awful. It is just text upon text upon text upon text upon text, and there's no pictures, there's no color, and it looks like it's the worst possible war game rule booklet. It is not user-friendly. Now, it is pretty straightforward. It is, I will say that, it's kind of well organized, but it is bad. It is very bad. And there's so much bold and italics and exclamation points that my wife said while she was reading this that it seemed like the game was angry at her. It really does. And she's like reading it, and she's reading it verbatim to me for certain parts. And it does. It sounds like the rule booklet is yelling at you. The rule booklet is mad at you. You are wasting your life. Well, you probably are because you're playing this game. But so the rule booklet is bad. There's another thing there, too. So they have the beginner's rule booklet, they have the advanced rule booklet, and then they have the cheat sheet. Now, in the advanced rule booklet, they tell you how to move. In the cheat sheet, they tell you how to move. But in the beginner's game, you're like, how do we move? Do we roll and move? It doesn't clearly specify how you do it. Also, game design-wise, wow, game design-wise, oh my gosh. So, of course, we have the lovely flip the coin mechanic, which everyone loves. We have the lose a turn mechanic, which is always delightful to lose a turn, especially if there's 6, 7, 8. Hell, you can play up to 9 or 10 players, I think, with all the components they give you. You can play. Losing a turn is fantastic. Well, let's just get that out of the way. So that's great. They have the lose a turn mechanic. The game does not fit very well thematically, despite the fact they put all the effort they possibly could into making you think, yeah, we're playing a lost game. You're trying to kill people. They say trap, but really you're trying to kill your opponents. What? Why is Locke trying to kill Claire? Or Jack, or Son? Why am I trying to kill these people? What? And then these little things, these are terrible. These are so bad. Now, this little plastic opponent, I think this could be really cool in a different utilized game. But for this is garbage. And the fact that you put in the rule booklet that you know it's garbage and you know it might not work. Oh, if it doesn't work, just go ahead and use the plastic little piece of paper we give you. Well, here's a clue. Why don't you actually put a good component in there, or at least a serviceable opponent, or just put a stinking pawn in there? I don't know. It was so bad. And there's tiles upon tiles upon tiles. I don't know why there's so many tiles. I don't know why there's so many fate cards. Oh. And that's the other thing. It's so weird. Some of the components are really good, and they're really nice. And then some are freaking terrible, and they bend easy, and they're just chintzy and cheap. It's like they spent all of their money on certain components, and the rest they were like, I don't know, just print off the HP desk jet over there, just throw it in there. Who the hell cares? I don't understand it at all. Like I mentioned, the Rulebook. This feels like tissue paper. I feel like I should wrap this around a present at Christmas time or shove it into a gift bag. Oh my gosh, this game is the worst game that I have ever played. I think that is a fair assumption. And as I mentioned in the middle part, if you didn't watch the middle part, the first time we played this game, on my second turn, I drew an event card that I literally could not beat, and I died in 3 turns. And that was it. And that's it. And then, oh my gosh. Oh, I almost forgot. The best mechanic in the entire game is the we agree to quit and all win mechanic, which I think is revolutionary. I don't think that's in many other games, that if you decide that you are done with the game, you can all just agree to win. Lost the Game from Cardinal is the biggest pile of garbage I have ever played. Normally, I can find some redeeming qualities in a game. This, no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Do not buy it. Do not pick it up at a garage sale for 25 cents. Don't just avoid this game at all costs. Lost the Game from Cardinal. Terrible. So, in the comments below, let me know, have you played this game? God, oh my God, I hope you haven't played the game. And I was actually talking to my wife about this. The fact that someone out there has played this game in an 8, 9, or 10 player game and has sat here and played this game for 4 hours. And my wife literally said after this, it was incredibly morbid, she said, and they probably went home and blew their brains out. That's incredibly morbid. I did not say that, my wife said that, but it's so bad. So let me know in the comments below, have you played this game? I feel bad if you have. And also, what is your worst game of all time? For me, I thought it was actually the survival horror, one of the other games that I reviewed a while back that was terrible. But I do believe this is the worst game that I've ever played. Congratulations, Cardinal. So let me know in the comments below, worst game you've ever played. And as always, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was the review for Lost the Game. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.